Welcome to another edition of AMA. I am Laura, and we have our resident expert, Theresa, who is here to talk today about PPOs. I think that there's a lot of people out there thinking they have to be a part of every PPO out there, but what's the truth about PPOs, Theresa?
Well, the truth about PPOs, that's kind of a broad category. Um, I think PPOs, they do serve a purpose. Okay, I'm really um, not of the camp that they're all bad, because we're looking at them being a benefit for the patient. They are not a benefit for the doctor.
Right.
Okay? So no insurance plan is a benefit for the doctor. They're all benefits for the patient. Um, and that's okay. But what we often find with PPOs and things like that is we're really tied in and locked into that contract. It's that contract that really is causing us the grief that it causes us.
Yeah, it's very limiting.
It's extremely limiting. Basically, the doctor is signing a contract to provide quality services for a much lower fee than what their normal fee schedule would be. So my question is basically, why would you want to do that? One is to attract new patients, and that's often the driving force behind that. Or if you have a geographical location where you've got a big employer. So let's say, for example, I'm closer to Gallo. Everybody knows Gallo Winery, right? I'm closer to Gallo Winery. They have Delta Dental at this point, have had for a long time, but they have PPO options, they have Premier options, they have different things. So because there's such a large group of employees in this area, a lot of doctors are Delta PPO providers. That's a benefit for, oh, I need more patients, getting patients in the chair, but are they really high paying patients? And again, maybe they are, maybe they aren't.
Or even additionally, are they the kind of patient that serves your type of practice?
Exactly. If you have a patient, and I'm not specifically talking about, Gallo employees or Delta Dental, just in general, if patients right now, especially, are very aware of their funds. And so, I can't fault them for that. Everybody should be aware of what they're spending. But if you're spending money on, a quality product, and the care, there's a difference between want and need. So really separating that out, but kind of going back to what is the benefit for the practice. I often find that in doing a snapshot, I'm finding that the amount of money that's being lost just through miscoding or underbilling or misbilling is huge. And a lot of these things aren't even a benefit on a plan. So why would the doctor want to limit themselves on what their reimbursement is going to be for someone that doesn't even have a benefit for this particular service? And I would also caution and strongly encourage doctors to take home that handbook and that contract that they signed, because the contract is different than the handbook. The handbook has all the rules. Contract says you're going to follow all the rules. So take that handbook home and read it cover to cover, because you're going to be surprised at the things you agreed to. And a lot of those things, depending again on contract, depending on the company, depending on the employer, you might agree to charging the patient the in-network fee, even though it's not even a covered service. So there could be a little tiny sentence in that somewhere. That's just one example. people think, oh, it's not covered, so I can charge my UCR. And that might be the case, and that might not be the case. So read that carefully. And then doctors get upset, or their office managers, insurance administrators are upset because they're constantly fighting these claims that are being denied, when if you really truly understood why they were denied based on your contract limitations. So I am of the camp and the mindset that instead of letting insurance companies dictate benefits, they're not dictating clinical treatment. They're not telling you you can't do something. They're just saying, if you do this, this is what we're paying you.
Right.
So they're dictating benefits. They're not dictating treatment. But why even deal with that? I am a big fan of in-house plans. That's my go-to. You're going to be giving the patient a much better bang for their buck as far as their premiums go and what services. It's out of control of anybody but doctor-patient relationship. And that's the way all healthcare should be, in my
Well, I
opinion.
agree with that 100%. And one of the things I was going to say is, when you started, was that PPOs are designed to benefit the patient. But what you're speaking to just goes to show how sometimes they don't even really benefit the patient. So continue your thoughts on in-house plans.
Well, let me address benefiting the patient in terms of what are patients usually going to look at when they look at buying a quote unquote insurance plan? How many free cleanings do I get a year? How many things are under a preventive 100% covered category? It's usually your exams, usually some x-rays, usually a cleaning. If it's a perio patient, that's a whole different subject. But so patients want to see that. Those are the same things you can do on an in-house plan. So rather than an insurance company collecting a premium, you're collecting the premium, but you're working out your plan with that patient the way that benefits the patient truly, because you're not locked in on all these little insurance contract criteria, hidden little things that you don't know because you haven't read the whole manual, which will put you to sleep in about 10 minutes. And sometimes so it's a lot. Going back to the in-house plans, the doctor can offer, and many times does offer, those same types of things that are top of mind to patient. My exams, I can still come in twice a year. I've got 5 kids. We're coming in for our cleanings, our fluorides, our checkups, and I don't have to pay for that. And that's what makes people happy. And then the rest of it can be on any kind of a sliding scale. There's different companies that do different things with in-house plans. I work with a really great person that does that. So if you need a referral, I can certainly do that for you. And I definitely suggest that you have a conversation, a discovery call on in-house plans.
Yeah, email or DM us if this is a service that you need in your practice and want more information about, because yeah, I know who you're talking about. It's a great resource, and we'd love to put you in touch.
By setting up your in-house plan, the way that it's going to suit your patient base the best, you will also find out, all things being equal, that you're actually making more money in your pocket, not only because you've got a predictable stream of income from the premiums that you're collecting, but you've also got a predictable fee schedule. Your overhead goes down because you're not having your office administrator spending 20 hours a week chasing down outstanding claims and reappealing and appealing and appealing again, and all of those things. You've taken the whole insurance conversation out of it. You've taken the whether this is a benefit or not out of it. It's treatment between you and the patient. And if that patient needs a crown, and the patient's copay, let's say, for example, was going to be $600 on their insurance, and you want to make that a $900, then, that doesn't mean that that's a bad thing.
Thank you, Theresa, for your thoughts on in-house plans. I think there is so much more that we could learn about that. We'd love to put you in touch with experts in that area. Please DM us or email us. We'd love to answer any of the questions that you have in your practice. Thank you for joining us for another AMA.